Welcome to episode 1 of What's Holding My Music Production Back. Got a new mic. Not really a new mic. I finally plugged it in because I'm lazy. But yeah, we testing it out. I'm just gonna shoot this video. Had some problems with it. I tried to shoot it with OBS. OBS is giving me trouble. I don't know. A lot of people say OBS is great. I know they do most of their music production. Not their music production, their video production with OBS. It's like a free program. I got I pay for the little OBS, a couple bucks a month, to be able to use the drivers and the multi-function. But I was having problems running OBS with the audio. Getting the right audio first, not picking up my computer's ASO, and picking up my Focusrite, and picking up my USB mic. So anyways, I'm going to shoot the video. I was going to shoot the video on the other mic because I had that working, the other mic and the other camera, just the built-in webcam. But this one's definitely a little bit better. So yeah, I'm just going to, always something. And that's kind of the premise of the show is like, family or my lady will always be like, during my gear lust and my quest for the perfect groove box, she would say, every time I'd get that inkling, she knows when I start, the gears are turning in my head for more gear. She could see me looking at something with interest. She would say, "What's holding you back now?" So I think that's the funny premise of the show. Like, in the quest for the perfect song and album, there's always something holding me back from making the perfect music. Probably myself, but it's the ongoing joke of the show. So yeah, I last time I checked in, I was talking about how I gave up a lot of hardware gear. I'm still gonna keep a few pieces. Hardware is still dear to my heart. But yeah, I was one of those that said I'm never going to a DAW. I use a computer all day. I don't want to use one to make all my music, and the DAW clickety click on the mouse. And when I started to want to send off projects to other producers and take it a little more seriously, I wanted to stem everything out and track it out individually on its own tracks. And when I opened up Reaper for the first time, I'm computer savvy. So when it multi-tracked out, I knew instantly that Reaper was the real deal, and I fell in love. I been playing with that a lot lately, having fun, and we just went through our Black Friday, so shout out to all the people who grabbed a bunch of plugins. I did way too much. I went hard this year. Let me know what you got. What's on your master chain? And a couple drops, the TR-1000, the drop itself from them, and yeah, there hasn't been too much gear that sparked my interest. The Rhythm got dropped. Shout out to Teenage Engineering, who when the KO2 came out, there was a lot of controversy, and there's already a lot of controversy with that company, but I gotta admit, after you have the KO2 in your hands, it's a different story. It's fun. I think that was a crazy launch. But speaking in the vein of what's holding me back, besides me feeling like companies kind of handicapped devices, meaning they make a circuit, tracks and rhythm, cycles, samples, digitone, digitag, and could combine these devices, but they don't want to cut the sales from handicapping something else they're selling. And you gotta wonder if that's in their best interest, is it's holding you back from making your music. If they make one device and it's so good and it's got a diverse palette and it's a great instrument and you can get years use out of it, why are you gonna buy something else? they might actually have to innovate. So I don't, I'm not saying these companies. I think we're in the golden age. And when I started a couple years ago, they had it was like the golden era of groove boxes and small semi-modular gear and stuff like that. So I think there's more tools now than ever. In the AI subject, I don't really want to touch too much. There's a lot of drama with it right now, but I don't really care about it too much. I'll use it if I have to, if it's gonna help production. I don't think it's nowhere near the point of replacing artists. It makes I hear the artifacts. If you got a trained ear, you can hear really fast. You know what's AI, and it just has a certain kind of artifact to it. I don't know if anyone else is in all of it. So to me, it's like an algorithm stretching kind of sound, almost like time stretch, but I don't know. You could just hear it. I wish teenage engineering would make a OPZ. Don't change anything about it. Don't add a screen. Don't change the workflow. Just make it not bend and double trigger buttons. Keep it the exact same. Just put it in a sturdy case. I wish. Speaking of like Korg, I wish they would make the Electribe 3. Please put some like tubes in it. You know, I know they're hard to get, but I see DAPs and other devices coming out with tubes. It'd be great, even if it was some kind of limited run. So many units, or however how many you could get. That would sell out so fast. My gosh. Um, core, yeah, because otherwise I think, the drum brute, or the drum log didn't, was already kind of discontinued. I think the micro Korg 2 was interesting, but everything they seemed to come out with was pretty high priced as of late. They had a few other synths that were interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Why aren't you making an Electron? Like for real. Um, Roland, they have their new drum machine TR1000, but I think, which looks great by the way. It looks dope. I got nothing really bad to say about it. Um, it's expensive, but yeah, I like the SH4D. I had a lot of fun with that, and they might be moving to the VST territory with all the Zencore and some of the new boxes they come out with. Besides the analog drum machine that just came out. But yeah, nothing too crazy in the world. I just been working in the DAW. I had trouble with modulation, not realizing coming from uh, hardware where you can use trig locks and conditional triggers and kind of motion stuff on hardware, and it just picks it up out of the box. That's something you might have to manually set up in a DAW. That's a little different. And one of my big hurdles with the DAW right away in Reaper was modulation, and I seem to have got that worked out with the envelopes and followers and figuring out how to set that up. So that was one hurdle I had to jump over. Another thing is getting into plugins is, you know, especially with the Black Friday going by, a lot of the free plugins are things you basically got to sell your soul to get these plugins, or your data. Data soul. I don't like it. Just that's what I'm saying. It just feels like you gotta hand over some stuff. I don't really care. Make up some dummy names, some fake accounts. I don't know, but it is part. It is what it is. I guess that's something in the plugin world. iLock. Nobody kind of warned me about iLock. Nobody told me about some of these things. So definitely, pros and cons to both sides, hardware, DAW. But I'm having fun. I really like Reaper a lot. Yeah, breaking down my setup to a smaller setup I'm not where I normally record stuff. I usually got the shock mic, and I actually mounted it into the recording space because I was just too scared of the mic tipping over. So I definitely just mounted it to the table I usually work at, and start recording there. That's another thing, is the whole getting into a smaller setup was to start recording more lyrics. I started as an MC and was working on beats and fell in love with that for a few years now. So I haven't really been doing my vocals, and now I feel like it's time, to start putting some full songs together, produce the beats, and work on the tracks, and then vocals, and put it together. You know, maybe get a little album built. 2026, yeah, that'd be great to get like a little EP together. So that's where I'm at right now, at least musically. Want to put together like a 8-track EP, and I haven't decided, what kind of genre, or how I'm gonna, if it's just gonna be, I haven't decided that yet. But I definitely, like lo-fi hip hop, boom bap, or is it gonna be some kind of more electronic with some vocals and more instrumental? I'm not sure, but I definitely want to get back to the lyrics and some songs. So definitely some rap songs for sure. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Just checking in with y'all. Hope everybody's doing good during the holidays. This Sonic Vibe on the first episode of What's Holding Back My Music Production Now. Peace.